Hello and welcome back to Kits and Wagers. We're talking game week 30. I am Adam Zdroik, joined by Chris Owen. We both work at rotowire.com. Chris, welcome in. Good morning. It is 6:40 a.m. where you are. How do you feel for the show?
Waiting for this coffee to kick in, quite frankly. These just given the quick match week here, we've got a pretty busy. I mean, you have a busy week here. You've got a March Madness that you've been clocking away on, and I needed to get this done before I hit the road for a little ski trip. So, you got to do a little work on the side. Got to do, sometimes it's early in the morning, sometimes it's late at night. So I'm just happy to carve out a little time and talk a little soccer this weekend. We got some big matches. We got FA Cup. We got EPL. I'm just waiting for this coffee to kick in. So sorry if we start slow and finish fast, but that's the way it works on Kits and Wagers.
That's the way coffee works. Yeah, if you're
Yes.
if you're a pure better and you're not just like a soul, you're only a soccer fan, don't like anything else. We're calling it March Madness money, and we got a show like an hour from now. We're talking today's Thursday. We're talking pretty much every game today, and I'm gonna be doing shows Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Just go to the RotoWire sports Twitter account, and all that stuff will be up there. But Chris, you got the training top on. You're training. You're getting ready to hit the slopes. So is that also your driving kit too? Can you call it that, or just
Uh,
your early morning kit? I guess.
this is just I'm hopping on Kits and Wagers, and I needed to find something to put on it. And it's kind of chilly. I'm like, it's still before 7. I think we got the thermostat starts to kick in around this time, so it's kind of cool at night. So you got to wear a quarter zip in the meantime. So otherwise, I would have went with a kit. But I saw, was it Gio Reyna? Gio Reyna was back in the line, or came off the bench yesterday and assisted Axel Witsel for the game-winning goal against Mines. So thought I'd whip out this one. It also happens to be quite warm. So that's my thought process here, and it might turn into my driving kit. I'm hoping I don't have to drive, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's where I'm at today. And honestly, after this show, well, if I'm not driving it, I'm going to be tuning into Adam's March Madness content, whether I'm reading it or I'm watching it later, because the guy has been an absolute machine the last couple of weeks, and I haven't filled out any brackets yet. I know nothing about college basketball, so I'm going to listen to that a little bit and see what I can get from it, and then fill out a couple brackets.
Heck yeah, March Madness money. Yeah, for my kid. So it was like 65 degrees here yesterday in Michigan, and now it's dropped back down. But so warm weather, Guatemala international break coming up. So that's just what I'm supporting. We got the Quetzal as the logo here, the bird, the Quetzal here. So just I got the warm weather kit on and the winter hat. That's just Michigan in a box, I guess you could say.
I do want to note that our good friend John McKechnie was on the show last weekend, and he brought me a RotoWire T-shirt, so I do have that on here. So always good to fill the coffers with an additional T-shirt. So
Speaking
you're
of
leader,
John,
you're leader in fantasy sports.
yeah. Speaking of John, the special guest last week, he did. I guess he was the only one that got a correct best bet last week. He had the Seattle Sounders
Mhm.
money line, his hometown slash fake not hometown
Yeah,
team got the
to
win
say
against
very not hometown.
against the Galaxy. But so there's 4 Premier League matches this week, and we're gonna break down a couple of those, and then we may like sprinkle in some FA Cup chatter. And there's 4 of those matches. Nothing really caught my eye, but I do see something that I want to bring up to you. But before we get there, I guess I just want to bring up. So today's Thursday. Do you have a thought on? So I was surprised to see this. Just real quick, Everton are actually favored at home against Newcastle today. Do the odds makers know something we don't, or is that like a wrong line? Everton are plus 135, Newcastle are plus 230. I feel like that should be closer to even because Everton have been terrible and Newcastle are actually playing well.
Yeah, that is. I did not. I didn't even pay attention to those odds because I didn't think about talking about it today. But yeah, that's pretty surprising. Everton, they're like one game out of the drop zone here, and meanwhile Newcastle, I believe, in the past 6 matches they've been one of the best sides in the league here.
Mhm.
They've dropped one out of the past 6. They've taken 15 points, 10 goals, only conceded 4 goals. So the back line has really been what's taken them. And Arsenal, or excuse me, Everton, still dealing with some reciprocal injuries where we'll see if DCL plays. He's questionable, it looks like, and I don't know why Everton are favored. Frank Lampard by the day is kind of losing his managerial. It's been a couple rides here for him, and he hasn't seen anything where he can show that, like, yes, I'm a good manager, and yes, we'll bounce back. So yeah, that's pretty wild to me. I would take Newcastle in this one, but Everton playing at home, fighting for their life, who knows? But those odds should be closer to even, in my opinion.
All right, fighting for their life. I mean, that one the Newcastle loss was like last week against Chelsea, and
Yeah.
they had to revamp almost their entire midfield because of injuries, and like they still maybe should have gotten a point. I know Eddie Howe is upset with some of the officiating in that, but they lost 1-0 with a late Kai Havertz goal. But if you're watching on YouTube or Twitter, got the sports betting page up, rotowire.com, go to soccer, sports betting. I just posted my betting article for the week, game week 30. Got a nice little Harry Kane picture on there so you can see where that's going. But here's the betting page. We got, as you can see, Europa League, full-on Europa League. We got that Everton-Newcastle match. And, of course, for the diehards, we got Querétaro against Atlético San Luis in Liga MX. That's the late 11 p.m. Eastern match. But we're talking Premier League. So the first game we're going to get to is, as I think about this for a second, we're talking Leicester-Brentford.
Yeah.
One of our followers, Anang Ade, wanted us to talk about Leicester-Brentford. So we're going to get into that one. We got Leicester at home, plus 115 and plus 240 for the draw. Brentford to win is plus 255. You can get over 2.5 goals, minus 115, under 2.5 goals, minus 110. So that implied goal total is sitting around the 2.5 there. But the thing here is that Leicester are at Rennes today for Europa Conference League, I believe. Whatever that league is called, UECL. So they're in France today for that match. So hopefully no major injuries come up. We already know Jamie Vardy's out. But Leicester at home, Brentford away. Can you read either of these teams, I guess?
Tough to read both of them, but I think they're both coming off from, let's see, Brentford's coming off 2 straight wins in the Premier League, as they are kind of fighting for their life here. Leicester, it seems like now that they are firmly in 12th in the Premier League, they're kind of like putting their eggs in the Europa Conference League basket, because that's their best way to qualify for Europa next season, which makes sense. If you're going to be 12th, they're sitting on 33 points, so I think 40 is usually the number to stay in the league, and I don't think there's any concern that they were going to get relegated. But I think we're just going to see Brendan Rodgers continue to put his best players in those Europa Conference League games. So I'd be surprised to see them at a full strength team come this matchup with Brentford. So I kind of am intrigued to see what Brentford does here. They have a little bit longer odds, but just Leicester playing on, what is it going to be, 3 days rest? And, missing Jamie Vardy coming. Are they playing at home, or are they coming back from France?
They're in France today. Yeah, they're in France.
Yes, sitting on a 2-0 lead. So,
we don't even know what that lineup's going to look like. So
yeah, they're definitely gonna have to put a couple of names in here that maybe we're not used to seeing in the starting 11, especially if they play like a really strong side on Thursday. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Brentford come away with a couple points here, or a point, or even 3 here. Leicester's just been so kind of hot and cold for us lately, and that's kind of what I'm thinking. So Brentford maybe taking away with a draw.
I was kind of surprised here. Like you said, Leicester's on 33 points. They're only 3 points ahead of Brentford. That just is that's just surprising. I guess, just things haven't worked out. Leicester has 11 losses, 9 wins, 6 draws, and then you got Brentford 8, 6, and 15. So I guess it just depends on how much you take away from Brentford's wins here. They beat Norwich,
Yeah.
and then they beat Burnley. And before that, it was a lot of loss, 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 loss.
Yeah.
Maybe a draw, loss, 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 loss. So it depends how much you're putting into that. I'd probably just side with the home team. It's kind of hard to read on the lineup right now, but I'd side with the home team here. I'm still Brentford have they're coming off those 2 wins, and I guess Christian Eriksen he started those matches, so you got him in the squad now. But I'd still want to see like what they do against a half real team, I guess you could say. So I probably lean on Leicester. Do you think both teams are going to score? Leicester have been a little more defensive, and Brentford have kind of struggled to score all season. I'd probably lean on no. You'd think there'd be goals, but I kind of think that it's going to be a little more defensive, just given Leicester's travels.
Yeah, I didn't really address that in my first comment, but yeah, I'm gonna go no on that as well because last 4 matches Leicester's been involved in, it's been what is it, 2-0 or 1-0, whether they in each of those matches, and then Brentford's past 5 matches has been either a nil draw, 2-1, 2-0, 3-1, and 2-0. So majority of the matches they're playing in, both teams have not scored. So that's just my thought process there.
Right. I think the public move would be to say yes, just because like Ivan Toney's been back and he's been scoring, and then you
Yeah.
got Leicester's attack. Like both teams to score is minus 150. The no is plus 115. But as I said, I like Leicester has been better defensively. You got the Arsenal loss, but they've played a little bit more defensive than what we've seen. Like that they're working with this Daniel Amarty and Soyuncu back line, which has actually been better than like whatever Vestergaard or whoever. So it's actually working for them. So I'd kind of lean on that, and then just the fact that I'm still not sold on Brentford's attack. Like it just seems like Ivan Toney's getting PKs every game, or he's getting this late goal that kind of comes out of nowhere. So that's kind of my thoughts on that one. But next match here, we got Tottenham home against West Ham. Tottenham minus 140 to win. They're coming off the 2-0 win at Brighton on Wednesday. West Ham plus 370 to win, and the draw is plus 300. Over 2.5 goals is minus 135. Under 2.5 goals, plus 110. Again, we're talking about a team playing midweek, except West Ham are home against Sevilla today. They are down a goal against Sevilla. This is Europa League. So we got that. We also have Jared Bowen is out. He's not playing. Cresswell, Antonio, both those guys left in the Villa match last week. Those guys are doubts. We don't actually know if they're going to play. So again, a lot of questions. They play today with injuries. What are your first thoughts here?
This one's not clear. This one is, if they're missing Antonio up front, it's going to be tough to take West Ham here. But the other thing that we didn't really mention here is Tottenham. Like Tottenham have to be the toughest team to read in the Premier League right now, in my opinion. They win one, they lose one, they win one, they lose one, they win one, they lose one. Like it seems like it's like been a yo-yo for them. They're coming off a pretty big win, and last time they did that, they lost. So it's like, what do I go with? The only thing that really intrigues me here is the double chance for West Ham, who you can get West Ham double chance at plus 120, win or draw. You come away with some decent odds there, and it's just if they say Cresswell is in the lineup and Antonio is in the lineup, I'll feel a lot more confident in that. And it's likely that we'll see those odds go, change a little bit, but you can get onto that now. I know there's a little bit of uncertainty, but that's the one that I would go for. We don't know what Tottenham side we're going to get. And that's been the way that's been the last 6 weeks to 2 months. So I think I'd go West Ham double chance just because they have decent odds.
Technically, if we don't, just going back off the yo-yo here, if we only include Premier League, they technically have back-to-back 4-0 and 5-0 wins against Leeds and Everton. So if you're back in Tottenham, there's your stat right there.
We don't get to erase the games they played though. They're not forgetting that they lost in between those games.
Yeah.
To Middlesbrough,
Port
right?
Vale. Okay. No,
Yeah, to
not
Port
Port
Vale.
Vale. No, Middlesbrough. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Okay.
Someone else played
Okay.
Port Vale. I was just looking at it.
Yeah.
So I wrote about this match earlier, and Tottenham have scored. Okay, this is only league play. I'm throwing out the Middlesbrough match, but in 5 of their last 6 matches, they've scored at least 2 goals, in which Kulishevsky has started for them. So, what the one down match was the loss at Burnley. Yes, that must be it. Okay, yeah. But otherwise, Kulishevsky's in the squad. Like they're scoring goals. He has, I think, 4 assists already. Harry Kane's back in form. Son is doing his usual thing. Matt Doherty is suddenly like Wolves. Matt Doherty. He came
Yes.
over almost 2 years ago, and probably a year and a half now. Like
Yeah.
he looked terrible whenever he came on for previous managers, and all of a sudden this past month, Matt Doherty is like, "I'm awesome on the wing now. I'm gonna get forward a ton." So like they have things that are working for their favor. West Ham have been playing a little more defensive. And like while I mentioned those injuries, I mean, I'm going to get to some of this later, but I don't know how they beat Villa last week. But after Cresswell and Antonio got injured in that match, I think Yarmolenko maybe getting some of that Ukrainian love. Once those
Mhm.
guys came in, like they got 2 goals, they beat Aston Villa. So I still don't know how that happened,
A
but
tough Aston Villa side too. Like
right.
that's a good one for them.
It was like an even match, and then
Yeah.
Antonio and Cresswell went off, and then West Ham's like, okay, now we're going to score. Now we're going to score because the Ukrainian Yarmolenko is in there, and I don't know, maybe that lifted the squad or something. But so that's one of the worries. I do like Tottenham to win this one. They're minus 140. That's probably what I lean on. I can't really take the over under here just because we don't know what West Ham are going to look like. You got the Tottenham success scoring, but this could be a 2-0, and then like if you take over 2.5 goals, then it's like okay, well there goes my money. So you got any other thoughts on that one?
Just looking at some of the anytime goal scoring odds. You do get plus odds on Harry Kane at plus 105. Heung-min Son is 120, and then Kulishevsky is plus 230. So I mean, the guy's been involved in their attack, but he's been more laying off assists than scoring. But if I was going to go anything, I mean, Harry Kane plus odds seems like a decent bet.
Yeah, that bet is actually a dagger because I did same game parlay. I think it was the Tottenham against Everton match. I did. It was over 3.5 goals. It was Kane to score and Kulishevsky to score, and probably something else in there. Everything hit, and Kulishevsky had like 2 assists, but he didn't score. uh,
Yeah,
so I'm
yeah,
not. I'm
more of a
not taking him
playmaker
to
so
score.
far.
Yeah, I'm not taking him to score anymore. I saw some shots and goals, so I was like, okay, maybe he's gonna get one. But like I watched all that match, and it just he preferred to pass it. Basically, when he was in the box or whenever he's on the wing or something, he usually preferred to pass it. He didn't care to take the shot himself. So I think that is a reason not to bet Kulishevsky to score. So
Yeah, that's
you know
fair.
it's a small sample size, but that's just what I saw in that specific match. But
Yeah, I mean, Kerry Kane, on the other hand, has been in fuego. Like the guy's
mhm.
got 7 goals in the past 6 matches, goals in 4 straight, plus an assist. So I mean, I'd lean on that. He's obviously probably not going to catch up to Mo Salah, but after the slow start that he had to begin the season, Kane has really caught fire.
Yeah, I do like the plus 105 in this game though. Like if anyone's a scorer like Kane, I like Tottenham to win. Might as well get Kane to score at plus odds. So that one kind of
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yep.
But just as you can see, the FA Cup odds are scrolling on the bottom here. I'll give you time to. I don't know if you have the odds pulled up, but just looking through some things, I kind of like Crystal Palace to win against
Yep.
Everton. Again, Everton play today against Newcastle, so another short turnaround. But you can get. So this is going to be obviously this is FA Cup, so this would be in 90 minutes. Crystal Palace to win, plus 110. Not sure what Everton are going to look like today. Not sure what they're going to look like on Sunday. I think taking Crystal Palace at home is a pretty reasonable spot if you can get plus odds on them. So I kind of like that one. and I probably lean on under goals in this Middlesbrough Chelsea match. I believe it's plus odds. So I'm looking under 2.5 goals is plus 2.5. And I mean, you can look through Middlesbrough's schedule. Like the way they've got here is just by, playing defensive. Yeah, like they beat Tottenham. They needed extra time for it. Got the goal in the 107th minute, 1-0. Manchester United, that one went to PKs. It was 1-1. So I kind of think, go with already the way that Chelsea play. Maybe Chelsea are in form, which is kind of the worrying part in that. Like Kai Havertz is really going right now, but I do like the under in that just because I think Middlesbrough probably just take that defensive approach, and we've seen a lot of times that Chelsea sometimes they just can't break through certain teams. So under 2.5 right there is a good spot. You have any thoughts on the FA Cup though?
Yeah, I guess question for you are any of we talk about the magic of the cup, the FA Cup. Are any of these underdogs primed for an upset?
So Southampton are playing pretty bad right now. I'm going to say no on
Yeah.
them, and I'm not going to, and definitely no against on Liverpool here. So I mean Everton. I'd say if anything, it's like Middlesbrough, which is just kind of what the odds show. They're plus 550, but that's to win in 90 minutes. Like if you want them to advance, it is plus 360. So even then, it's not like the greatest odds because Chelsea are playing well. Then again, we just mentioned is this match Saturday or Sunday? Yeah, this one's actually Saturday. So like Chelsea were at Lille Wednesday or Tuesday. I can't remember anymore. Everything's mixing up.
That
But
was yesterday.
okay, yeah. So Chelsea, they were just in France. We're just talking about Leicester in France. We got to take that into account. Chelsea and like Lukaku hasn't started for a while, and I think this is a spot where Lukaku starts, and it seems like a lot of the Lukaku matches they just struggle in. So that's kind of where I'd look. I mean, plus 360 isn't the best for Middlesbrough to advance, but that's probably what I'd look at.
Interesting.
At least for an underdog. Because they are at home too. So, I mean, granted, so is Southampton and Nottingham Forest, but it's not Man City and Liverpool. So,
yeah, no, that's fair. That's kind of the one that I looked at too. I mean, going to be tough for any of those underdogs to kind of get past it. But yeah, Kai Havertz at plus 125, anytime goal scoring. He's got the best odds for Chelsea. And then other than that, Liverpool, they're getting two. Mo Salah at minus 140, Diego Jota at minus 120, and then you get into Firmino has better odds than Mane, so plus 115 and plus 120. I would go Mane here if you had to select anyone against
yeah, you
Forest.
Would. That's the bet.
Adams Zdroik put me on this one, man. He's a Sadio Mane stan, so we're gonna stick with that, I think.
There you go. All right, so best bets. We don't have to talk about the past, okay? But I'm gonna ride. I'm gonna keep riding. I should have wore an Aston Villa kit. Man, I'm still riding Aston Villa until I could lose my next 10 bets here. I'm just gonna say that's in play, but I'm taking Aston Villa again. They're home. We haven't talked about this match, but they're home against Arsenal. They are plus 200 to win. Arsenal are plus 135. I don't think Aston Villa should be an underdog. Lucas Digne is out. Douglas Luiz is questionable after getting gashed in his face. So they have some injuries, but Arsenal played Wednesday. Mikel Arteta openly complained about the schedule. For unclear reasons. It's not like they're playing in UEFA or anything like that. So Arteta just coming out and complaining about the schedule.
That was so funny. Like, I mean, that's like a EPL manager's favorite thing to rag on besides the officiating. That, and even then they get fined if they go too far. But after the match, Arteta was complaining about the schedule, and then Jurgen Klopp was like, yeah, we've had to play 13 games since we last played Arsenal, 7. So they played 6 more matches than Arsenal has in that time. And then Arteta hops on the mic, is like, hey, I hate it. Are the schedules, crap? Like, it's like you played 6 less games and you got beat. So.
Clearly, he was upset after losing.
Yeah.
The thing with Arsenal is when they're healthy, Arteta doesn't change his starting 11. Even
No,
though like
no.
Smith Rowe is in there, basically Smith Rowe is all he's coming off the bench for Martinelli there. And when everyone's healthy, I guess right now you got Cedric in there at right back instead of Tomiyasu, but he doesn't really switch up his lineup. Like this has pretty much been what he's done all season. And to complain about the schedule is interesting.
Yeah.
So even though like Villa have injuries, I'm not too worried about it. But getting back to the best bet here, I got plus 115 on the draw no bet. They killed me last week. I keep saying that they killed me, but I'm just going to keep saying that. Villa, I had the same bet on Villa last week. They lost against the Yarmolenko and company, but I still think they're playing well. They're playing well than earlier in the season, and they're at home. I just don't know why they're underdogs in this spot. Their last home match, they beat Southampton 4-0. I don't want to look beyond that because they have some losses before that, but Arsenal are playing well. But short week, coach is complaining about schedule. I feel comfortable betting against them. And I think this is more, I just think that you're getting an advantage on the odds. I think this should be even odds. I think it should be like plus 160 for both teams. But you're getting money here with Villa draw no bet at plus 115. So I'll take that.
Arsenal, they've won like 9 of their last 12 matches in the Premier League. Riding a pretty hot hand. That doesn't scare you at all?
No. Do you want to run through some of these wins?
Fearless.
All right. They beat Watford 3-2. Got a Wolves win 1-0, which was kind of a slow match. Then you got some non-league games. They won at Norwich, won against Leeds, and then before that, I'm just speaking away matches. They lost at Everton, lost at Manchester United, lost at Liverpool. A lot of those wins are at home. They have a great home record, which is I kind of thought they were going to put up more of a fight yesterday against Liverpool, but I'm not as sold on them away from home. I'll say that.
They did put up a pretty good fight. Like they could have easily been up in the first half, and then in the second half, it was just kind of felt like inevitable. But
I meant fight on the scoreboard, not just like playing well and not scoring. That's not what I meant.
Yeah. Touche, Adam. Touche. Anyways, I'm going to get into my best bet. This one I don't feel super confident. I'm on a little bit of a cold streak right now, but better time than ever. No time better than now to get hot here. I was looking at the odds. I always love the double chance because it gives you a good chance to, whether you're going to draw or win, you can take, 2 of the 3 options on a team here. And I talked about how Tottenham is a bit of a yo-yo in their form, including all of the matches they played, like the FA Cup and the Premier League. But yeah, they've won 1, lost 1 for the past, 7 or so matches. West Ham are above Tottenham in the table. This is a pretty big game in terms of, I don't think either of these teams are going to get into the Europa League, but I think that's their target right now. And in order to do so, one of them is going to need to win here, and I think that could be West Ham. And even if they don't win, you come away with a draw. You're going to get the double chance odds at plus 120. And I just like what they're doing. It's going to be interesting to see whether they do have Cresswell or Antonio. I'll feel a lot less confident if they don't have Antonio up front as he's their goal scorer. But I think I'm just going to go with West Ham here just because I have no idea what we're going to get out of Tottenham this weekend.
Okay, since I have Tottenham on the money line, I have to ask you. You said Tottenham are a yo-yo, but you're comfortable with West Ham not being a yo-yo because they're losing every away match?
I'm just confident in the plus 120 odds. You get a draw or a win. I mean, you're coming away with money here. Whereas, do I want to bet on a Tottenham side who are,
Hold up. You're taking the draw no bet. You get your money back.
I'm taking double chance.
Oh, you're taking double chance.
Double chance, plus 120.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right, never mind. You're right.
You get the 2 opportunities there. So, I mean, West Ham are they're sitting on. I guess I have to look here, but they're 5th, or I want to say 5th, 6th.
Yeah, they're 6th. They're
right 2 points
Manchester. Yep.
Yeah, and just 6th based on goal differential here.
They're level with Tottenham.
They're above Tottenham on goal differential, but
behind one match.
Yeah, But so that's where I'm at here. This is a big scrap for Europa Conference League.
Yeah, we got 4 matches to pick here. I just want to read off Sevilla's last few away matches. 1-0 at Sevilla, 1-0 at Liverpool, 3-1 at Southampton, 2-2 at Leicester. They needed extra time to win at Kidderminster Harriers. I believe that was like they're in like the 5th division. And then before that, they lost 1-0 at Manchester United. Okay, so there's the bet. Chris is taking double chance on West Ham. What was that, plus 120 odds or something?
Yes, correct.
Okay, plus 120. I'm riding and dying with Aston Villa. Draw no bet. That's plus 115. They're home against Arsenal. You know, I've been on Arsenal all season, but now I'm against them. So we'll see what happens. Here we are. But that was game week 30. We got an international break coming up, so we might be back with some future talk. We might be, I don't know, we'll see what happens. But if you like betting, make sure to check out RotoWire Sports on Twitter. We'll have a lot of college basketball stuff over there throughout the next week. Chris, in the meantime, is hitting the slopes. He's going skiing in his Borussia Dortmund kit. He'll definitely be out there. He'll look like a big yellow blob up on the slopes. It's zooming along like, I don't know, like the Flash or something on the slopes with that yellow going. I don't know, something like that.
Definitely not going to wear a jacket over this in the snow. You know, just going to wear a quarter zip in the snow likely. So that's the smart play.
I assume it's going to be sunny. I mean, if the sun's out, it's 50 degrees on the mountain, right?
I think we're looking at below 0. I mean, it's at elevation. So yeah, sorry to disappoint, but I will likely have the sun at some point.
All right. All right, Chris, thanks for joining me. Again, make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to like the video on YouTube, podcast, whatever. We'll be back. Chris, enjoy your weekend and start your Thursday off. Get some more coffee in you. But anyways, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And thanks for joining me, Chris. At CHRON8 on Twitter. I am at Zdroik. Got to put that in there as well.
Thanks, Adam.